Music, BMW is definitely kicking themselves at the moment. Mercedes-Benz has invested $90 million in Coco Gauff, but this isn't your average endorsement deal. Mercedes is letting all of its competitors know that they have the most valuable young athlete in the world. The numbers are insane, and the timing makes it even better. Do you think BMW regrets letting Coco go, or do you think Mercedes was always going to pay more? Along with your answer, leave a comment. $90 million. Mercedes-Benz just paid Coco Gauff that sum over a 7-year period. Before someone starts saying things like, "That's too much for a tennis player," let's be clear. It's not tennis anymore. This is about cultural power and global reach, as well as making a statement so loud that your competitors can't ignore it. Mercedes signed Coco and embarrassed BMW. This is the reason this story is so delicious. Coco was BMW's first. The agreement they signed her to was seen by all as revolutionary. She was competing in BMWs. There were commercials during Grand Slam broadcasts. Everything seemed perfect from the outside, but behind the scenes, things were falling apart. There are rumors that BMW didn't fully understand what they had. They treated Coco like any other athlete to wear their brand instead of recognizing her as a cultural phenomenon. Differences in creativity started to appear. BMW wanted traditional advertising, Coco wants to talk about sustainability and social issues. BMW wanted her reputation. Coco wanted to work with someone who truly respected her opinions. In business parlance, the notification of the split was mutual, meaning that one party wanted to depart and the other was unable to stop it. Everyone with half a brain realized that Coco was the one who turned off the electricity. She didn't want to stay in a relationship where she was just a pretty face for commercials. She is looking for a company that will actually help her with the things that are vital to her. Mercedes-Benz intervenes, ready to recognize BMW's mistakes and seize total command of the circumstance. Mercedes had been watching the whole thing. They are not stupid. They pounced like vultures on a carcass when they saw BMW mismanaging one of the most valuable sports sponsorship opportunities. But in this case, the carcass was BMW's ego. Mercedes officials flew to New York to meet with Coco's team after the US Open. They also didn't make a substandard offer. With $90 million over the course of 7 years, a fleet of cars at her disposal, creative control over her campaigns, and sustainability projects that she would personally oversee, they were prepared to make this the best deal of the decade. Most importantly, they gave her a seat at the table rather than simply a face in the commercials. That's what sets a legendary endorsement apart from a respectable one. Coco's aspirations extended beyond financial gain. She wanted to be powerful. She wanted to be included in the decision-making process. She intended to use this platform to actually improve the world rather than just sell cars. Furthermore, Mercedes gave her everything that BMW refused to supply. The announcement was well thought out. Coco was already in Beijing for a tournament when Mercedes came into the courtside plaza in a black EQS. She appeared in a white and silver suit, giving the impression that she owned the whole automotive industry. The cameras went crazy. They wrote their own headlines. This arrangement involves more than just Coco driving fancy cars and doing ads, therefore we just made the biggest mistake in our professional life. BMW must have seen it and thought about it. Mercedes is betting on the future of their entire brand. For many years, high-end automakers catered to well-groomed celebrities or exceptional athletes who fit specific requirements. Tiger Woods and Roger Federer were two examples of people who supported tradition and greatness without necessarily calling for social change. Coco represents something quite different. She is sincere. She speaks up in favor of social justice. Traditional athletes will never connect with Generation Z the way she does. BMW doesn't appear to be able to acknowledge her as both a tennis champion and a cultural powerhouse as Mercedes does. This agreement has significant worldwide implications. As more people than ever before watch Coco's matches on television, tennis is growing in popularity in China. In the fastest-growing premium car market in the world, Mercedes has quickly established a solid reputation. In the US, Coco is already well known for reasons other than sports. Mercedes is letting BMW and all of the European competitors know that they are no longer playing around. The sustainability component is also quite good. Coco will lead environmental measures pertaining to the Mercedes electric car line as part of the $90 million deal. The EQS is not merely an expensive car. It is their flagship electric vehicle. As the initiative's spokesperson, Coco helps Mercedes connect with younger, environmentally conscious consumers who are drawn to more than just powerful cars and opulent upholstery. BMW must be quite sick right now. They lost this particular chance because they couldn't get out of their own way. They wanted Coco to be a part of their vision, not the other way around. In a contemporary setting, that kind of thinking is out of date. Athletes who meet Coco's criteria have options and aren't afraid to leave organizations that don't respect them. This was one of the biggest athlete brand deals of the decade, according to Forbes. The statement caused the Mercedes brand's value to surge by billions of dollars, according to Bloomberg. It's not overstated. That is how the market actually responded to Mercedes purchasing Coco. Shareholders questioned BMW on how they permitted this to happen in the interim. As one could expect, the sports community reacted. In an encouraging tweet, Serena Williams called it a power move and thanked Coco for impacting her career both on and off the court. Naomi Osaka claims that this represented a major change in how athletes manage endorsements and stretched beyond tennis. Since this is what occurs when someone concludes a deal this size, other players immediately began using Coco's agreement as leverage in their own conversations. Everyone's standards are raised by it. In the past, female athletes have been paid far less for sponsorships than male athletes. Because of her $90 million contract with Mercedes, Coco is on par with the biggest names in sports, regardless of gender. That's progress, and it happened because Coco wouldn't settle for anything less than her own worth. The social media response was outstanding. Fans were sharing memes of Coco driving her Mercedes by the BMW offices. She was praised for being a successful role model both on and off the court. The critics tried to claim that tennis doesn't deserve these kinds of deals or that she is overpaid. However, they were overpowered by those who knew the real circumstances. This is not just about tennis, this has to do with the influence of culture. The objective here is to connect with audiences that traditional advertising cannot reach. Authenticity is vital at a time when consumers can spot fake corporate messaging from a distance. Coco is used to offer all of it. Mercedes was also clever enough to see it. But there is real pressure associated with $90 million. Every campaign, appearance, and game in which Coco takes part now has higher stakes. Expectations are high. In interviews, Coco clarified that she doesn't give a damn about the figures. It is related to impact. She wants to leave behind more than just honors. Because of this mindset, Mercedes first intended to offer her $90 million. The timing of this deal is perfect. Only a few weeks after joining, Coco was participating in the WTA finals in Riyadh. Mercedes symbols were everywhere. Every broadcast, her uniform, and the courtside banner were essentially Mercedes advertisements, but because of Coco's performance, it didn't feel forced. Donning the Mercedes emblem. She was winning matches and gave off an air of dominance. That kind of organic marketing is not something you can buy. Mercedes only recently spent $90 million for it, though. The first major commercial campaign was unveiled during the Riyadh finals. With a voiceover on taking charge of your own destiny, Coco drives an EQS through neon-lit cities. The back seat has a racket bag. The commercial immediately went viral. People didn't only share it because Coco was in it. They shared the message because it resonated with them. Mercedes was always able to perform better than BMW. This deal also represents a broader shift in the perception of women in sports marketing by upscale businesses. Males, football players, basketball players, and Formula One drivers have traditionally benefited from such mega agreements. Women's contracts were smaller and their campaigns were less noticeable. Coco's contract breaks that pattern because she receives superstar-level compensation. Other businesses are being compelled to reconsider how much they value female athletes. In an effort to recover, BMW quickly signed a young football player, but the damage had already been done. Everyone could see that the action was more reflexive than strategic. They were desperately attempting to keep their dignity after losing Coco, and analysts have correctly predicted that BMW will suffer for years as a result of the Mercedes coup. Citing Coco's agreement as evidence of their own worth, this kind of mistake is highlighted in boardrooms as a caution against undervaluing athletes. Soon after, other sportsmen started renegotiating their contracts. That knock-on effect will change the endorsement landscape for years to come. When someone reaches such high numbers, it helps more people than just them. It increases the standard for what is possible, which benefits everyone in their sector. Mercedes isn't athletes understand that this partnership entails more than just transient auto sales. This is a long-term investment to stay relevant as the automotive industry evolves. Electric vehicles, sustainability, and attracting younger clients that appreciate more than just luxury. Coco satisfies every prerequisite, and Mercedes is in a strong position going forward as she will represent them for the next 7 years. It was perfect symbolism for Coco to dominate the WTA finals while racing about Riyadh in a Mercedes EQS. It involved more than simply tennis. It involved projecting strength, progress, and a vision for the sports and the brand's future. Every time Mercedes won a match, she also won. That's the kind of cooperation that really works. BMW had to watch all of this happen, knowing they might have had it. It's possible that they were the ones getting this attention on a global scale. They may have been the ones who reached millions of new clients by utilizing Coco's platform. Instead, they are observing from the sidelines while their primary competitor rejoices over what might be the greatest endorsement deal of the decade. BMW recently received an expensive lesson from Mercedes-Benz on how to recognize brilliance when it exists. Coco Gauff immediately discovered a better connection after leading a failing one. Please click the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed this study in order to get future updates on the biggest advancements in the sports sector.